Hello everyone, Voodoo here. I'm still at the temporary setup in my dining room, so ignore the echo and apologies for that. But a few weeks ago, Cycle got fixed where pre-stacking was no longer a thing. Now when they did that, they actually also introduced another bug, which resets Cycle down to 0 stacks at the start of a Mythic Plus dungeon or a raid. Now Mythic Plus, this doesn't really matter, it just slows down your stacks a little bit. But for raid, where we play Essence Break, it does matter and it causes a lot of desync with that. So in today's video, I'm gonna go over how to play with this new desync for both Fel Scarred and Aldrachi Reaver, because it's a bit different for both, for raid. So make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And with that, let's get on to the video. All right, so as I said, because there's no more stacks of Cycle when you go in, like you can see here, I'm at 0 stacks. I have Cycle. So my first beam will be a 35 second, oh sorry, it'll be a 40 second CD and then 35 seconds, I believe. So things last a while. Now the difference in the playstyles is that for Fel Scarred, you want to just rip Essence Break on cooldown, even if you're not in meta. You just always use this on cooldown as much as you can. The reason for that is that because of Enduring Torment, which gives Chaos Strike and Blade Dance 15% damage when you're outside of meta, and haste, but that doesn't really matter here. And then also Monster Rising, which is 8% agility. Being inside of meta is actually only a 5% increase over being out of meta. So by setting this on cooldown, you get more uses of it. It eventually syncs back up with your 2-minute and I-beam eventually, once you meta for the second time, so 2 minutes into the fight. And you just get more of them and it's more damage overall. For Aldrachi Reaver, it's different. So we'll go over that when we cover that section. But for Fel Scarred, again, you're just going to use this on cooldown. So I'll show you guys what that looks like roughly. We'll do like a 2-minute rotation bit, I guess. If you want to see what buttons I'm pushing, look down here in this corner. I'm not going to do the thing where I throw up all the images because it's just not this type of video. But if you want to see kind of what I'm doing, go down here and we'll talk through it, of course. So same opener as always, right? Immolation Aura before pull, Sigil of Flame, Hunt in, use all of our Immolation Auras. Then we're going to do I-beam, grab our soul and Chaos Strike, Death Sweep, Blade Dance, Chaos Strike once, Immolation Aura down to 1 charge. Then we're going to beam an Essence Break here, and then just dump with a ton of Chaos Strikes. And now at this point, what we're going to do is as soon as Essence Break is back up, we are going to use it. So Immolation Aura dropped, we want to use it. We don't want our Demon Surge buff to drop, so it is that. Demon Soul's down, so we can Death Sweep now. And at this point, we are just basically filling time here, keeping our meta going, using Death Sweep if we don't have Immolation Aura, using Immolation Aura, stuff like that. And now we're back out of meta. So when I-beam comes back around, we're going to rip it, and we're just going to use it. And we want to also try and make sure we have an Immolation Aura for Essence Break. So I-beam, we're just using it. We want to use our Chaos Strikes, extend here. Then we're going to pop Immolation Aura, Essence Break again, and then just use that off CD. And at this point, things kind of mostly line up, right? You can see here, they're roughly 20 seconds apart, which is pretty much what we want. But it does lead to a situation where we do Essence Break kind of late compared to where a beam is, because beam isn't actually 20 seconds yet, right? Beam's 25 seconds because of the really dumb change. So because of this, we are going to raw Essence Break again 5 seconds before we have our beam, which is, you know, not a lot you can do about it. But by doing this, we do have it back up whenever we meta again. So again, you know, I'm just pushing buttons here, use Immolation Aura, have our Essence Break, throw our little slashes into it. And then at this point, everything should line up pretty naturally when we get back to our meta cycle, and like the whole hard part of the rotation is basically over, right? So they're weird in terms of their sync, but because meta is going to come up and reset I-beam, we can now pair I-beam with Essence Break, and they'll be paired together for the remainder of the fight. So I guess I'll show you guys that. It's only like 8 seconds from now, but realistically, like that's how you play it for Fel Scarred, right? You want to just use I-beam on cooldown and not really care too much about where your Essence Break gets you. We're going to beam here, Essence Break, and now they're wonderfully together in holiest matrimony, and they are perfectly in line. And for the rest of the fight, you're going to just do I-beam Essence Break like you normally would for like, you know, Havoc, right? So there you go. That is Fel Scarred. It's weird. It's certainly strange, and you can definitely have some weird overlaps with it in terms of like bosses and ads and stuff like that. But that's how you got to play it for Fel Scarred now. So with that, we're going to look at Aldrachi Reaver, which does do it differently. All right, so we are here with Aldrachi Reaver now, the normal build. Now, whereas for Fel Scarred, the idea is that you want to use Essence Break on cooldown, For Aldrachi Reaver, this is not the case, and you will be delaying things to line up with I-Beam, which sucks. That's just how it is. Now, truth be told, you don't play Aldrachi Reaver on a lot of fights this tier, so it's not that big of a deal, but it still does come up on a few fights. Also, why is this wrong? Strange. I don't know how that happened. But pretty much, you're going to do the opener as normal, where you do Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta Death Sweep, and from then on, you're going to use I-Beam on cooldown, as long as, and then pair Essence Break with the next available one. Now, the first I-Beam you'll be holding, the second, the I-Beam with the first Essence Break you'll be holding for it. The I-Beam with the second Essence Break you'll hold Essence Break for. So it's basically whichever one is like the shorter hold, essentially. So it's a little weird, but I'll show you guys it just, you know, for prosperity's sake. And of course, we're not actually holding Reaver's Glaive for anything. We just are going to aim to have Thrill the Fight up as much as we can. So same opener as always, Immolation Aura, Digital Flame, Hunt in, throw our Reaver's Glaive out, I-Beam, Annihilation, Essence Break, Death Sweep, Meta, Death Sweep, Annihilation again, and then Beam, Sigil of Spite, and now we are into the bread and butter here. So it works pretty well here, actually, where these things kind of just line up like you're already in your meta. But once you're out of your meta is when things start to get a little bit weird in terms of just like synchronizing these buttons, right? Because obviously we have, Shattered Destiny here, so we're extending our meta window. Once we're outside of that, things get strange and a little freaky, and it's not very good. So we dropped our meta. But that's not a big deal because we are right away back into our Essence Break window. Now, if you have Lust, these things will come up in your first Essence Break window, so it's not a big deal. And now things get spicy and weird. So again, we're gonna do a run through of one whole cycle of, you know, single target cooldowns. So we'll play for a minute or so, and I'll just show you guys kind of like how the cooldowns line up and stuff like that. You will end up just delaying stuff. Unfortunately, there's just nothing you can do about it because this is how the thing is designed, and that's just all there is to it. So I probably should have glaive there, but I'll glaive after. It's not a big deal. And now we're beaming there, and we are going to hold this Essence Break. Very unfortunate, but it just kind of is what it is. We're just going to hold stuff here and sync our beam back up to it. Now, truthfully, probably could have done that the other way, but whatever. So we're back, and now things are going to be synchronized and happy, and it's just unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it is. You really want your beam to be on the 20-second cycle when it's paired up with Essence Break. This does mean you hold meta a little bit, but again, it's only like 10 seconds, so it's not like the biggest of deals in the world. But of course, it does suck a little that it's something you have to do. But again, it's like whatever. Like you're only holding it for one cycle. It's just kind of how Havoc is with this new Essence Break. So again, I'll keep yapping here as we get closer to our Essence Break. But at this point, everything is all synced up, all happy, all rub-a-dub-dub in the tub together. And they are vibing. So go through our thing here. Boom, 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 backflip, meta. And now everything's kind of synced up, but it's just the same situation where whichever one's going to have less CD, you're going to hold that for. So if Essence Break has 5 seconds left, you'll probably hold Beam. If Beam has 5 seconds left, you'll hold Essence Break, right? So pretty straightforward stuff, pretty simple. Just don't use a raw Essence Break as Aldrachi Reaver. So here in this situation, because they're only 5 seconds apart, I will hold Essence Break for 5 seconds to sync them back up. But yeah, it's pretty much just like, don't, in Fel Scarred, use Essence Break outside of Demonic, or Aldrachi Reaver, always use Essence Break with a Demonic window. That's basically the difference. And there you go. That's the video today, just showing you guys how to play with the bug. Now, it's unfortunate this is a thing, but I don't know, like there's nothing really we can do about it, so it's kind of just hoping that they fix it and playing along with it. So just to recap again, for Fel Scarred, you're going to use Essence Break on cooldown always, just so that it's, you know, linked back up for your 2-minute cycle, just because Essence Break, well, not Essence Break, but Fel Scarred outside of meta is a lot more strong when compared to Aldrachi Reaver. And then for Aldrachi Reaver, you want to just make sure you're always using it inside of a meta window and holding it for Beam, or in certain cases, holding Beam for it. But for the most part, just hold Essence Break. It's going to be easier to deal with that than holding Beam, because you really want to stack up your cycle stacks to 20 as fast as possible. It's a whole thing. It's really annoying, but Like what are we gonna do about it? I don't know. It just sucks. It's a bug, but yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys know how to play with this bug now. Hope this helped. If for anyone doing a rating still, probably have more stuff this week. Hopefully we get an update to Havoc or Devourer this week on the alpha rather than just Vengeance last week, which got to Apex, which is cool, I guess. With that, appreciate you all. See you guys next time. Peace. A big thank you to all of my channel members. Thank you to Correlated. Thank you to Alexander Trifunovic, Fear Redefined, Loose Change, R Palms 46, Fasu Terceros, Zuligan, Dupe, Spaghetti, Gabriel Correa, Magic Man 133, and Felfadarin Dark Terror. Thank you all so much. Thank you to everyone who watches the videos, but especially to those of you who are supporting the channel. Helps me make content, of course. If you want to support the channel, get your name shouted out at the end of the video. Consider becoming a channel member down below. There'll be more perks coming soon-ish for channel members. Trying to work on that a little. And again, thank you to everybody. Also, go follow me on Twitch, stuff like that. And y'all are awesome. See you guys next time. Peace.